Australia's independent energy market operator says the nation's coal-fired power plants must remain operational for as long as possible to prevent a future price shock during the transition to renewables. The AEMO report to be released today claims ageing plants will still deliver the cheapest electricity for the next 20 years, and it estimates replacement cost of the generation capacity of the existing coal network would be between $8 and $27 billion by the mid-2030s. Joining me now for more on this is the Environment and Energy Minister, Josh Frydenberg. Minister, thanks very much for your time this morning. Does this report alter at all your technology agnostic approach?
No, it doesn't. The Australian Energy Market Operator has provided us with a blueprint as to the infrastructure needs for this country for the next 20 years. It focuses on the need for greater storage, greater interconnection, more transmission assets, and it does point out that our existing coal assets provide the cheapest form of power generation and are critical to keeping power prices down and the stability of the system up. So we welcome this report. Together with the ACCC, it bookends the government's plan, and the Turnbull government has a laser-like focus on reducing people's power bills. We have turned the corner. We are seeing people's power bills come down, and there is still a lot more work to be done.
What we know so far, I don't have the report, but from the reports of it this morning, is that it warns against any premature closing of coal-fired power plants. What about Ladell closing in 2022? Is that premature?
Well, we've made it very clear we don't want Ladell to close, and we said to the company that they needed to give due consideration to the commercial offer put by Alinta, which is the 5th largest integrated energy company in Australia. The board rejected that, and we're obviously very disappointed with that result. We'll continue to make the case for ensuring that Australia's 20 coal-fired power stations with an average life of 27 years do as what AEMO has told us today is critical, that they stay in the system for longer, because we saw when Hazelwood closed in Victoria and the Northern Power Station closed in South Australia, a dramatic increase in the wholesale power prices of families and businesses, and we can't afford to see that happen again.
Obviously, AGL's argument has been this is the natural life of the power plant, though, then that is Ladell. So is that true, or do you consider this a premature closing and thus going against this report?
Well, you had another company in Alinta say that they were prepared to keep Ladell going for longer and obviously could see the commercial benefits of doing so. And we had a report from the Energy Market Operator indicating that there would be a shortfall in the dispatchable power in the system should Ladell close. I think the key here is the National Energy Guarantee. Again, the Australian Energy Market Operator has provided a strong endorsement of the National Energy Guarantee as the way forward for our energy system. This follows a report from the ACCC just a week ago which said the same thing. So we know that the National Energy Guarantee is in the interests of consumers. We also know from this report that Snowy 2.0, an important nation-building infrastructure project strongly backed by the Prime Minister, will also be critical in providing a level of stability in our system and delivering lower power prices. So everything we're doing, Tom, is focusing on lowering people's power bills. We want to put engineering and economics at front and centre of our energy policy, whereas the Greens and the Labor Party are always talking about ideology and politics.
Just looking at this report and combining it with the ACCC report, which spoke about the government underwriting new dispatchable projects, new dispatchable power projects, could that apply to extending the life of existing plants? Could that be considered a new project in effect?
Well, what the ACCC was talking about was new build generation plants, because what they were saying was that there was a market failure in the system whereby new entrants into the market couldn't attract the debt finance or the banking finance that was necessary to build a large power plant, because they couldn't get the long-term offtake agreements with the large commercial and industrial customers. So they said that the...
And so you wouldn't envisage that applying to extending the life of the power plant? That would be a genuine new build?
Well, the ACCC was focusing on new build assets into the market to increase the competition in the sector, and it wasn't talking about giving support to the large existing players, but rather new players coming into the system. So you had the benefit of not only adding to capacity, but also adding to competition, and I think that's a key aspect of the ACCC's report.
And that's their recommendation, and that's the way you'd see it as well, because some within your party are saying apply it to perhaps existing assets if they're being extended. That's, in effect, new power in the system. You're saying just new build. You'll take that recommendation as it is?
Well, the ACCC, we'll continue to talk to the ACCC about the recommendations in the report, bearing in mind there are 56 of them. Some of them, Tom, involve the states, so we'll continue to consult closely with them, and we've put the issue of the ACCC's report on the agenda for the upcoming meeting with state and territory energy ministers in August. But what we are focusing on is getting the next generation of assets built, overcoming market failure, ensuring that there's more competition in the market, and both the ACCC report and the AEMO report provide us with a way forward.
And just quickly, Minister, nothing about this report today changes the commitment to Paris and the emissions reduction target, despite the news poll today?
Well, the news poll is good news for the coalition because it shows that there's a lead in terms of the coalition and Labor when it comes to keeping the public's view about who's better to keep the lights on and to drive power prices down. We know when the Labor Party were last in office that power prices went up each and every year, and we know that...
Right, so we are nearly out of time, but just to clarify, there's no change of mind on Paris with today, no effect on that?
Tom, we have committed to reducing emissions under the International Agreement of Paris, as well as driving a more affordable and reliable system. That's what the Turnbull government is doing, and that's what we'll continue to do.
All right. Energy and Environment Minister Josh Frydenberg, thanks for your time today.
Good to be with you.
Well, the Queen's swan maker has taken to the River Thames to count Her Majesty's swans. Any idea what I'm talking about? Well, you have to wait. We've got the details. It's an annual tradition. We'll tell you why coming up.
Yeah, I'll be tuning in. I've got no idea what you're talking about. We'll also have sport with Heather Miller. Is the world's fastest man, Usain Bolt, set to join an A-League club?
The celebrations continue at Kia with these promising offers, like the Cerato S in final run-out from only $19,990 drive away with free auto. Hurry into your local Kia dealer today.
With this powerful digital motor, a new era begins. Dyson has reinvented the cord-free vacuum. Definitely not a little portable. This is now your big machine to deep clean everywhere. So powerful, in fact, we've stopped developing corded vacuums.